Okay, I had to interrupt my run because I had this interesting ADHD multi-layered thought listening to a colleague talk about math. And so let's see if I can ADHD layer some thoughts here together for you. In math, when you're teaching math to kids, you have a group of 6 individual objects, but that could also be 2 groupings of 3 or 3 groupings of 2 or 1 grouping of 6. But when you've put them together, it's a new thing, right? And so it's not one or the other. It's actually both at the same time. It is 1 and it's 6. It's kind of like in music, when you have a bar, a division of the music gets divided into bars, right? And in a bar, you might have 4 beats. You might have 6, you might have 9, whatever. But maybe you've got 4 beats, and that can be divided a bunch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, right? And so you've got individual parts of the music, but you've still got a whole category, I guess, that goes around those individual parts. Okay, so that's math and music. And the same thing happens in, let's say, a choir. I mean, this is sort of different, a choir or a band or a group of people, a community, a church. You've got a bunch of individuals who belong to a thing. And when they belong to a thing because they've got a common purpose, whether that's singing a song or praying the prayers or, building a park or raising money for whatever, those individuals at the same exact time retain their individual identities and take on a role within that new identity. So they're not one or the other. They're not just a member of the Rotary Club or a member of your church choir or whatever, but they're also still at the same time an individual. I know this is kind of obvious, but it seems important. And I think that that's something that we in the Western world have kind of forgotten when it comes to a lot of concepts. And I am developing this while I walk. I'm actually doing this on purpose, developing my thinking while I'm talking to you. We categorize ourselves and each other as only belonging to that group, saying that political thought, or having taken that action that we've somehow caught on video and now are going to ruin your life because of, or praise you, like Elon Musk buying Twitter. There's a date stamp for the video. Critics are saying one thing and highlighting it because that's, how they can decide to defame or, frame his plans and processes badly. And maybe they're right about that one thing. So maybe the problem with our short attention spans, whether it's biological or Twitter induced, is that we don't allow for the nuance of understanding that people have multiple belongings and identities, and they all matter, and you probably can't accurately judge a person based on any one of them. But also for teaching math, that's where it's coming back to. When we teach kids math, we need to allow them to have the neural plasticity, the mental flexibility to say, oh, this grouping of objects is all at the same time, 1 group of 6, 2 groups of 3, 3 groups of 2, and 6 individual things. Because those are all different concepts, if I said it right? And maybe the way that we teach kids math with only one way to look at things is part of what's causing our inability to allow for the flexibility to see that people have more than one aspect to their life. Okay, so that was sort of an attempt to let you into what seemed like an ADHD set of layers of thinking. And an attempt to let me process a thought that I had as a result of listening to this professional development thing. So, no tips or tricks yet. That's let's call it a bonus, and it's going to be 5 minutes exactly. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, I'm over 5 minutes.